What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast, where we talk about any and everything. Personal, old snaps and claps. It's a dang good day to talk about a few things. So let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal right here on the Morning Jam podcast. You guys, I am here and super excited to have my super guest with me on today, Miss Belinda. What's up, sis? How's it going?
Hey, Crystal. It's a pleasure to be here.
Listen, we met at the Women's Expo this year here in Atlanta, and I was so amazed by the expo. But first of all, we want to know about you because this is what we brought you here for. The Morning Jam podcast need to know about Miss Belinda. So tell us a little bit about you, just a smidget, and where you're from.
Well, I currently live in Atlanta. Super excited to finally be a Georgia peach. But I'm originally born and raised from Florida. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm an serial entrepreneur. I'm a mommy. I'm an author. And I'm super excited to just be out here doing my thing, girl.
Listen, I love it because when I speak to a lot of different women, they are out here doing their thing. Like Atlanta, I'm sorry, you guys, is like, it seemed to be the Black Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like, did they call you a transplant when you got here, Belinda?
No.
Well, I was called a transplant. I guess because I'm from Arkansas.
They probably did behind my back. Just wasn't aware.
Oh, that's funny. So we're going to dive into where you're from. You say you're from Florida. So why did you decide to move from Florida? Everybody want to go to Florida. I want to go to Florida, like for real.
I'm originally from Florida, born and raised. So my sister was in the military.
Okay.
And so she was stationed here. And then my family, we're just super close. And we like to move around each other all the time.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we started out in Macon and then just really
Listen, Belinda, I am very close to my family, but I left them in Arkansas. I didn't even go home for Thanksgiving or Christmas this year because I was like, I want to do something different. And then when the time came around, I was kind of like missing them a little bit. But thank goodness for, Zoom, the video calls and stuff. So that helped a little bit. So you're a entrepreneur.
Yes.
You are a you work at tax, do people taxes and all that. So I may have to connect with you after that, and let's talk about doing my taxes this year. So also you are an author, mom, like you said. So tell us from the beginning, why did you want to start a business for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And in that, tell me, was it a struggle for you to even start it?
Absolutely. One of the things I noticed about myself is that I kept finding myself unemployed, but I loved money.
Right.
So I just had to really come to the realization that, look, I'm a boss, so I'm an unemployable. Right. So I decided to create the type of lifestyle that I wanted by, following my dreams and doing what I knew to do best. And one of the things I noticed is that when I did go to work for other people, I always found a way to do it quicker, faster, and what I thought was better. So I figured I'd just decide to do those things for myself instead. So that's what really began my entrepreneurship journey.
So, and was that a struggle for you at all?
It was actually easy because it was easy to transition for me because that's where I felt most comfortable.
Wow. And that's amazing because a lot of times when people, and even men, in general as well, find it kind of hard to step out on, into being an entrepreneur and trying to find their journey in life or what they wanted to do. So that's awesome that you didn't find it a struggle because you knew what you wanted, right?
Yeah, I was just kind of one of those people that were born to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Like it was just birthed in me. I was never really good at I'm a great supportive of other businesses and other people. Like my friends have businesses, and I'll do anything from be your assistant from the day to wait on your tables. And I've done it. You know, whatever my girlfriends need, I'm there for it. But in terms of not being able to move at my own pace and not being able to make the necessary changes that I know that are necessary in order to have something function better, that was a problem for me. So I noticed I get to do that in my own business.
Wow, that's super nice. Because for me, I am working towards that because I see myself so much greater than where I am now. I feel like I
too,
kind of, well, thank you. Because right now, I just feel like I did a little bit when I was in Arkansas. I feel kind of like I'm smothered and I can't move at my own pace. I can't move like this job is holding me back from what I really want to do. This job is holding me back from where I want to be in my life. Like, I want more. This is not enough.
Right.
And you were saying create the life for you. So for me, creating that life for me is kind of like, okay, Crystal, what type of life do you want that to be? So how did you write that down? Okay, I want my life to look like this.
No, I didn't. I just had a feeling. I know what it felt like, but I didn't know what it looked like, because as a young woman, I didn't have certain exposures. It wasn't until I became a young adult that I actually got a chance to get out and see the world.
Wow, yeah.
And then as I got out to see the world, I then began to formulate my vision. And then I was able to kind of crystallize what it was that I wanted.
I love that. Crystallize it. I'm going to have to use that. I'm stealing it from you, Belinda. I'm crystallizing my crystal. Me.
Yes.
So I know that you are an author. And I when I said we met at the Women's Expo, you were sporting your beautiful pink dress and all of your greatness there with your Dear Future Husband book. Tell us a little bit about that book.
Oh, my goodness. It's just another one of my passion projects. I absolutely love this particular project because it was derived from a place of pain. Never really had a problem getting to the altar.
Right.
Never really had a problem saying I do. So I don't have an issue with being in a committed relationship. But what I had an issue with is vetting properly at the beginning and getting to really know the person that I decided to marry.
Right.
So this time around, I did all that work, went through years of therapy, and now I'm in a space to where I know exactly what I want. And not just that, but I understand how important it is for me to actually be the person that qualifies to have that.
Oh, wow.
So the book is twofold. It talks about you affirming that man. And the thing is that I love it so much because in it, there's so many different teaching points. You get what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
My father was there, but he wasn't a teaching dad. He was a very present, able, stable, and capable father, but he wasn't a teaching dad.
Wow.
And little girls need dads to teach them things.
Absolutely, yeah.
Here's what not to do. Here's what to look out for.
Yeah.
Have that.
I love that.
So I didn't get a lot of that until I became an adult. So very interesting, that I now share those things that us as women, we need to look out for.
Absolutely,
because sometimes we make affirmations based on our pain, not understanding that we're crippling ourselves simply because we don't have any idea what we're doing.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, and we can only give what we have. And we don't have that, which in this case, the right information, the right knowledge to present yourself whole and complete as a woman to that man, then how can you ask for it? You don't know that that's what you need. So I did that work.
So you feel now that you're in a place, okay, I can give that. I can be Belinda, that great, strong, independent, what my future husband need, that backbone that, we are, as women, we always, we do what we have to do. We always take that extra step, that extra mile. Do you feel like you're at the place now where that husband of yours that's coming, that's going to be able to just, you can lean on me anytime, babe. I got you.
Here's the interesting thing. Us as women, we're like that. We're nurturers.
Absolutely,
so we come with that.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? But the part of, hey, I need you to take care of me too, we don't always come with that.
That is so true.
So that's
true.
What I'm bringing to the table this time.
Okay.
And that's what I'm very clear on.
That's awesome. My eyes, for some reason, jumping over here. I guess it's because this is a good conversation. But I want to dive more into this because for me, I feel like I'm at a place, too, where I'm like, I've been married before, but I know what not to do in my next one. Because my next husband is going to be like the bomb. I know that, hey, I got you, babe.
Hey, that's on page 17 in my book.
Okay. We're going to have to get this book.
You got to get that book.
Dear Future Husband. Because, for me, now I'm working on me.
Yeah.
Because I find that a lot of times that Crystal needs a little bit of help, too. Crystal needs to set aside some time and listen to my thoughts.
Yeah.
So was there ever a time that you had to do that in all of this processing of being a mom, being an entrepreneur, being an author, and everything like that? Did you?
Girl, it is a mandatory maintenance checkup, and I do that yearly. So it's not something that I can ever go through life and avoid. And so often, you know, we get to the point in our lives to where we, you know, we want to get to that next level, but we slow ourselves down.
That's true.
The reason why is because we don't learn from our past mistakes. So at the end of my year, well, actually before the end of my year, I actually start right after Thanksgiving. I'm like, okay, time to start over. You know, my new year, the new me. And I don't want to wait till the new year's here to actually begin the self-work and the self-evaluation and that maintenance. No, right? So I started at the end of the year.
So what does that look like? What does that look like?
It looks like, first of all, I fast. First of all, I just spend time in prayer and meditation, and I actually pay attention to what I went through. What actually, from what I went through, did I actually grow through, right?
Yeah.
So I take the lessons from my life that past year, and actually those are the things I write down. Those are the things that go back on my vision board, and I create affirmations from those things, you know, because the only problems or the only trials we have to repeat are the ones that we refuse to learn from.
Wow.
So I just kind of make sure that, you know, I never want to go through that again.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of time women, we tend to pick that up again and try and fix what we didn't fix in that. So we have to tend to like, okay, let me try and fix it. I can go through that again, and it's not a good thing.
I don't have time, girl. Are you kidding me?
I think that's where it brings a lot of stress and anxiety too in there.
Right. Yeah. And the only time we have to repeat these things is if it remains useful to us.
Right.
Like how come we still picking the same man? How come we still repeating it? How come you running out of money before you run out of month? You know,
right, yeah.
What is it that you're not doing right? How many months, how many years are you going to continue to repeat the same cycle?
Absolutely.
You're not learning from it. So I absolutely refuse to repeat the foolishness.
I love that because
it stays there.
Yeah, I'm at a place now where I'm like that. Like, I don't have time for that. I'm like, this is the new me.
Yes.
I don't want to bring the old. Like I even said at the beginning of this year, I never do a New Year's resolution. I never do that. But I was like, you know, I'm leaving 2019 where it's at, 2020 definitely, and 2021, I'm leaving there too. Even though it was some wonderful things that happened in 2021, like I never stopped flying. You
never stopped what?
Flying, like going places.
Oh, well.
And even moving here.
Faith, hey.
Girl, I got on the plane with the mask and come here and did my job and just went back to Arkansas. But I just felt like it was needed. And I was, like I said earlier, smothered in Arkansas where I couldn't move. I just I needed a change. And that was that growth that when I stepped in Georgia, drove into Georgia, I was like, this is my new life now. I'm so starting out. I did.
Yes.
I did.
I love it.
I was so excited, and I just feel like 2022 is my year.
Yes.
You know that song like that, it's my season, it's my time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking right now. It's my season, and it's my time to shine. Because during my Facebook Lives, I always say we are light that sit up on a hill that no man can dim, shut off, break, because no man can give it to us, but God has given it to us. He's given us that light to shine. Nobody can take that away but him, or unless we give the power for someone to come in and get that space. But I'm just at a place where I'm like, growth, and I see you, sis, and I see growth, and I see so much in you. And when I was walking to you, even at the Women's Expo, I was like, this young lady don't even know how of an impact just walking to you made on me. I was like, this is so new. And I didn't even speak much, even going back home that day, of how the Women's Expo was so much a great impact on me. I met a lot of women, but you and a couple other ladies that I was with just was so amazing and just touched my heart dearly, because we stood there for a little bit and talked.
We did.
Yeah, it was amazing. And Boo was there supporting you.
Absolutely.
So what do you find? How do you work with that, him being that support system for you? How do you guys like work in that?
Okay, when you say how do we work in that, what do you mean?
How do you that support system? Like, okay, so I need you here, babe. Can you be here with me, babe? Because I be wanting my babe with me everywhere. And sometimes I even want to just hear his voice just to, I need that strength. Just let me.
Okay, this is getting serious. I'm going to get more comfortable.
Get comfortable.
If I may. So, yeah, absolutely. And then it really is about just making a decision to support each other.
Right.
So he does all the things for me that I would in turn also do for him. And I think that's the beauty in our love.
Yeah.
That we're able to share that similarity. There's no like imbalance in our support for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that a relationship is really truly successful when you're truly serving each other.
Right.
And so I'm here for his service.
That's
and
amazing.
He's here for mine. So
yeah. I love that, because when I seen you guys together, y'all was definitely shining. I was like, I know this is boo right here. Because y'all were so, like, when I see like Black couples, it's so powerful to me.
Yeah.
And I just love it because, for me, it just gives me like, okay, this is what I want. This is what I want in my relationship. Because when I take all positive, but I kind of look at the negative too, and I learn from that. But the positive, I run with it. Like, I need this in my relationship. And even the communication and stepping up, even walking to you, even taking pictures of you. He was like, okay, this is my babe, so let me go ahead. He did the thing. So I love the support. So that's for me is big for me in supporting my boyfriend, because I want him to know that he is amazing. He's wonderful. He's kind. He's got this huge heart that really, I don't even think he knows that he has it.
Oh,
Do you know, babe?
Babe, do you know,
babe? Do you have this huge heart?
Did you tell him?
I do. I tell him all the time. I said, do you know I am really honored to even be with you? Like, I don't even know how he feel with me even saying that. I needed to say, how do you feel when I say that? Because it is always the emotional thing for me. I'm a very sensitive person.
Yeah.
I'm very emotional. I love to talk too.
Yeah.
So I have to get that, kind of pull that out of him. So like, okay. Because he has his time.
Is he a talker?
In his spare times he do. Like when he's doing different things he is. But he has his quiet times where he's like, okay, let's be quiet. So I definitely have to respect that.
Yeah. Aww, I love it.
I do too. I love it. We're not going to talk about my relationship.
Literally, it really is about finding the right time. During a football game, which I be trying it all the time, girl, may not be the best time to bring up a serious conversation.
But don't we want to talk about it when those little, like, you can take a break from the football game. You can take a break from a movie.
I've chosen to no longer compete with that.
It can't happen.
I'm like, you know what? It's a losing battle, so I'm going to choose mine, right?
So what would you say, like, to someone that's in a relationship that's right now, that's wanting, because I've seen you with your babe. I know you call him babe. And it's Chris?
Yes.
Chris, okay.
Yes.
And what would you say to someone that's, like, because I see the connection that you guys have, that want that connection. How did you guys get to that point?
Oh my God. It was just natural. It's like if
Belinda,
you ask him,
I want the guide.
Listen, the guide is understanding just what life and love really is about. We are always going to attract to the level of our emotional health.
Okay.
And that's what's real, right?
Right.
So, like, if you ask him how we met, he's going to say, I don't know. There was a gravitational pull towards her to where I had to bolt my way out the door and tell her, hey, you're beautiful. Let me get to know you. Or whatever the conversation was. That's his story. My story is I just finished and sent my book off for print. Dear future husband.
Nothing else.
I was clear on exactly what I wanted, and I put it out there to God. I burned it. I wrote it down. I intentionally wanted to write it down with my own bare hands.
Wow.
And then from there, manuscript. You understand? So it literally, it was honestly me doing that work And of course, we're not perfect. We have our issues,
Absolutely,
you know. I have my shortcomings and so does he. So we're not perfect, but it literally is about when we find those imperfections, just talking through them, conversing, and making a decision that, hey, this is just a stumbling block. And if marriage is our goal, if that's where we're going, then this is just another hurdle that we've got to jump over to get there.
Right.
Yeah.
So in that, do you feel like, okay, so if this relationship only lasts for 2 years, do you feel like in that you would have wasted your time?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
It would have been deemed successful because the joy and the love that resonate from me right now because of this experience has made it a success already. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
Unfortunately, sometimes people outgrow each other. I'm hoping that's not us. It would break my heart.
I know, right?
I absolutely adore him, right? And I see my future with him. So I hope that that doesn't happen. But if it is, the relationship has been a success for me.
Listen, see, I would be the same way. It would break my heart.
Yeah.
We could cry on each other's shoulders.
15 minutes though.
15 minutes. Okay, got you. 15 minutes. Only is that a rule that for you emotionally? Only give yourself 15 minutes.
Okay. So first of all, of course, a relationship that lasted 2 years would take a lot longer than 15 minutes to get over. So, and also, you know, I really want it to last forever.
Absolutely. Yes.
However, we have to talk about what we don't want to sometimes, right? Because the reality of that does exist for a lot of people.
Right.
So in the event that you are in a relationship and it doesn't last forever, and that was the love of your life, and it happens to end, then if you lived the relationship with integrity, if you operate with integrity, then you can move on knowing that you're elevating to another level.
I love
and that person just couldn't go with you.
Yes, because you were talking about integrity on your Facebook page, and I was like, I'm going to ask her that question about integrity. That's a big thing for you, right?
It absolutely is.
So why did you make integrity the big thing for you?
Because nothing works without integrity.
Why?
Nothing. Because it's almost asking, why do we breathe air? We just do. Nothing works without integrity. And it's so funny because throughout my life, I've always been at like those crossroads decisions, even recently, even in my relationship. And at the end of the day, I had to remember integrity. What is integrity to me right now in this moment? And when I chose integrity in every instance, I was able to elevate. I was able to smoothly transition. The stress left, the aggravation left, because I chose integrity. And it literally is about being in alignment.
Right.
Because we oftentimes we have goals, right? We have goals like, I want to get married, but there's no space in my closet. Guess what? I had to get in alignment with integrity. You understand?
Yeah.
So getting in alignment with integrity is making space in my closet. Like that's in alignment with that's integrity,
right?
In all areas, no matter how big. Most people think that integrity is just about honesty. No, it's not. Integrity is about being in alignment with what you say that you actually want, living in a way that you're expecting for it to come into fruition for you.
Oh yes,
like today.
You know, even with that, like you're saying, having that space for new things for me. Yeah. Girl, I brought Arkansas. I got like 6 totes of clothes. And I was like, why did I bring all of this? In my mind, when I was there, yes, I do love my clothes. And I definitely love my shoes. I have 2 big totes of shoes back at my mom's place in Arkansas. But I was like, you know what? Even in that, I should just leave it there because this is a new, like I said, a new crystal that is starting all over again.
Right.
Like, I can't bring my old into my new.
And
that's come from the pins that I put in my hair to the shoes that I put on my feet. Like, You're preaching to me right now, girl. It was like pulling hair out. My new assistant came in. He was like, okay, we're just going to throw out everything that you don't wear anymore. I'm like, what? We like to hold on to it. Yeah.
What do you mean you're gonna throw it out? It was like there's someone who who would love this and just won't let it leave in their closet, collecting dust.
Right.
So it's true. I'm getting there because I'm a hoarder, not in a negative way.
Yeah.
But I like to keep sentimental things.
Me too.
I like to. Some things I'll pass away, some things I'll give away, but a lot I just like to keep. So I get that. But you're right. Separating, choosing to give those things up so you can move forward.
I'm there.
That
I'm
baggage.
so there. Because I was even thinking, like yesterday, like, Crystal, did I really need these 4 totes of clothes in this storage? And do I need to just let it go and start all over?
Yeah.
Because this mustard suit is working, and this is the new from Atlanta. So
it is.
So yeah. Are you needing to come through? Go ahead. Yeah. So I'm just yeah. So I'm just
check my phone too.
So I'm just at that place, and I see that you're at that place.
I am.
So I'm trying to really connect myself with women that are at the same level or even higher with me, than me. That way I can move. Because I never want to sit stagnant anymore. Because when I sat stagnant, I got smothered, and I couldn't move. And it was just like, okay, Crystal, you need to find out who you are again.
Yes.
Let go of the past. We're not even going to talk about the past anymore, even though I brought up my my past here, my my marriage and all that, past marriage. And it's just, I'm not even going to discuss that because it's in the past. What can I change from any of that?
Right.
Like I said, 2022 is new for me, and I see that in you, and I just want to, it's just amazing. So I want you, sis, to be a part of my life, and I will be a part of yours, and we can just grow together, support one another.
Yes,
so let the people know where they can reach Belinda and where they can get your book.
Yes.
Wait, before we even do this, I was wondering, now you are a vegan?
I am.
Oh, Lord. Girl. Let me tell you, I tried this for 2 weeks, and I only lasted for like a couple of days. So it was a back and forth thing.
Oh, my God.
Tell me, how do you do that?
It takes a commitment. Well, see, okay. So the desire to acquire what I wanted was so much greater than the sacrifice that I had to endure, right?
Okay, say that again.
The desire to acquire what I wanted was so much greater than the sacrifice I had to endure.
Oh, Lord.
Right?
You're so speaking.
So it's really about the end game. And for me, it was my beautiful babies. My grandmother, which was on my maternal grandmother, had died of cervical cancer by the time she was 35. My mom, from like I said, cervical cancer. My mom had to have a full hysterectomy by the time she was 24 years old.
Wow. By
the time I was 18, they said, B, you'll never have children. Your reproductive system is so riddled with cysts, you need to have it removed.
Oh, wow.
I was like, no way.
Wow.
I'm a nurturer. I love children. Children love me. I'm a mommy. There is no way I don't understand no when I have a goal, right?
Right, yeah.
So I decided to get a second opinion. So I went to another medical doctor. They told me the same thing. I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Do you guys work together?
Right.
And so I had another opinion. So 3 opinions, and each of them said the same thing.
Wow.
So I talked to a naturopathic doctor, and they were like, yeah, they're cysts. You can dissolve them. You just need to change your diet. Okay. I went vegan, but prior to me going completely vegan, I went all raw, and I juiced cabbage, carrots, garlic, onion, celery, and apple, and drank that every day for 45 days.
Yikes.
Got pregnant though.
There's no way I could have. I don't know. I
5
say
children
that.
Later. 5 children later.
No way. Wow.
So the reward, the promise of the reward was so much greater than the sacrifice I had to endure. Just pushing away the plate, which I love that I did that in such a young age as well, because it taught me a different level of discipline.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I love the word discipline because I have to pull that to me sometimes. Like, Crystal, you need to really discipline yourself and really. And I was telling, again, telling again my boyfriend, I said, am I getting fat? You know, I see things, it's different. I feel it, but yes, we do as women. When we tend to stare at ourselves in the mirror and look at what we need to change.
What we don't like.
What we don't like.
And people say we're beautiful. We're like, whatever, you're just saying that.
Right. Right. But I love it. I love it when I hear it. Like,
yeah, me
beautiful.
Too.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love. And even in the morning, I wait on that text message of that beautiful black queen. I was waiting for it. I stopped because I used to send the message myself. But then, you know, he sent it, then I would send it back, and then I started sending it first. So now I kind of like, wait, I shouldn't even said it, but now I kind of wait on it.
Yes.
So, yeah, so I was like, I'm just going to wait on it and see if I still continue to get it without responding first.
Right.
And I do.
As you should. Men love the chase, honey. They marry the women they chase.
I love it. I love it. I had to get there because I tend to find myself wanting to chase my boyfriend. Like, okay, I know what you need here, so let me just do it real quick.
And they don't marry those.
Belinda, see, you're giving me good stuff and bad stuff, but you know I can take the bad with the good. I can take the bad with the good and learn from it.
You gotta men are pursuers.
That's true.
I mean, and when we take that innate ability from them, they get bored.
Yes.
You get
absolutely. Yeah.
They get bored.
So what in your Dear Future Husband book that has touched your heart the most?
Just the passion behind it and the purpose behind it and the fact that just the power in manifestation, because that's truly what it is. Like I created something, I saw it, and it appeared.
Right.
So it's amazing. And I've seen other women that got my book, and the same thing has happened, you know? So I talk a lot about the 2 lists in my book. The first one, like I mentioned to you earlier, is that list that you write down. Write everything down. Everything that you want in your man. Okay? I mean, everything.
Absolutely.
Okay? When you're done, tear it up, throw it away, and expound on that, girl. Go deep. When you're done, burn it up, because it doesn't even matter.
Like, I'm in it at 110.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, babe, you know, I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. You got to worry about this. You ain't got to worry about that, you know. But I just feel like in that, as women, we really need to find, like, who we are too. Like, write down, even that, does it match?
Right.
Does it combine with one another? Does it make each other grow? Does it make each other happy? Does it make each other sad? Is it going to, you know, bring us even closer together? And I just love that too, because for me, I'm at a place now that I feel like where I'm working on Crystal, and Crystal is like changing. When I hit my 40, I'm 40. And then when I hit that number, I hit it and it hit me hard. I was like, okay, my 30s are cool, but that 40 is so different. It's so different. I don't even want to bring your age. You don't have to tell. But but I know, like, that connection that we had as sisters when I met, I felt that, like, okay, this is a woman that I know that we're on the same level, and I felt that. So, and in your book, I cannot wait to get it, because I know you have a guide to it, right, as well?
I do.
So let us know what in the guide as well.
Well, basically what you can expect is just it's a 31-day affirmation journal and guide. So basically it's I'm giving you my example of what an affirmation looks like on day 1 for me. And then I also give you a tip, like I mentioned, on how to be in alignment to have that experience, right? And I also give you a space, I ask questions, and I give you a space to write down what your affirmation is and what, you know, you're getting from it. So it's an interactive journal, and I really love it because, you know, I have so many of my readers reach out to me, you know, with questions and with, hey, this happened. And it's just such a beautiful experience to actually see that people are having the same results as I.
Yeah. And I've seen that you have done a few of your speaking, like events and stuff. So how has that been? Especially the journey for your book and stuff. So how is that?
It's been amazing. I love sharing my story. I love helping people. That's just a part of who I am as a person. So it's been really great. I love getting on the stage. I love speaking in front of a crowd. I love bringing people on stage and just sharing, you know, what their experience has been like, and doing my little exercises. I'm just one of those speakers that when I get on stage, we're going to have fun.
Have fun.
We're going to have fun.
That's what it's about. Though. Yeah.
I'm a real mommy. And I teach and I bring my lessons out on stage. It's just about life. I think we all think from a primal perspective at times, you know, from our first innate, you know, problem solving skills when it first kicked in. And sometimes we default back to that. We don't always kick into, you know, our overdrive at our college education or our learned ability. It's back at a primal level, unfortunately. And so sometimes just teaching, you know, if you pay attention to commercials, they're not at a college grade level. They're at a third grade level. Because they want everyone to be able to understand. Yeah. So when I get on the stage, I'm actually bringing people up on stage with me, and we're going through step by step, creating visuals and creating experiences, because I like to give experiences that create new neurological pathways to where you can start believing it for yourself when you leave here. And that you know now that your mind is actually tricked into, hey, I just had that experience, so actually I can keep having that experience. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, me too, girl. It works.
Yeah.
It works.
You're laying down some nuggets for me, because for me, I feel like in the midst of me being a mom, like we're talking about, I'm going to bring this to being a mom. I don't think, well, I am a good mom, but I felt like there was times where I felt like I was not enough in this area, especially even the teaching. Like the teaching, I was teaching him, but I was teaching him the way of my mom taught me, which was very wrong and very old. Old school didn't match the generation that he was. And I was like, no, this is not going to work. So I had to figure out what direction now where I can connect with my son. He's 18 now, so girl, is totally different. And as mom, we tend to do that as well. We bring that where our parents, how they raised us, to the children to this day. It's totally different. Totally different. So I definitely love to, like with you too, come to one of your events where you're.
Oh, sure.
So the next one, let me know, sis. I'm going to be there front row supporting.
So
that way I can like listen and learn. Yeah. So, because I definitely love to learn. One, it's hard to put myself in that position of say, okay, Crystal, this is what you need to do to learn. Right. So that's what's, I feel like it's not hard, but it's like a hard start for me. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. It reminds me, too, I'm getting ready to have a course. It's a 7-day manifestations course to where I actually go through that process with women. Basically, it's the process that I started right after Thanksgiving, going into the new year. And if they want to, you know, start a fast, they can, but it's not necessary. It is a 7-day process. So my book goes through 31 days, and I'm just taking a week from that.
Oh, okay.
And adding it to that manifestations course. And we teach manifestivities in there, which is another coined trademarked term that I use. It's called manifestivities. It's the activities that you engage in order to manifest what you want.
Awesome. So when is this going to take place?
Oh, it's every week.
Awesome. I would love to be a part of that.
Absolutely.
Love to be a part of that. Because for me, I'm at a place now where I am ready. I'm going to show you this book that I've been reading. It's called Help. And I actually got this from my boyfriend too. So I got this book. It's called Help. The first, I read till 4. And it says, you got to get up. And today I was talking about on my Facebook Live. And it was, you better get ready.
Love it.
So I was like, okay, this is going backwards for me. I read this part. So I was like, okay, this is good. So I got to get up. Now I got to get ready. I done got up. Now I got to prepare myself for what God is bringing towards me to be where I can run with it. Yeah. And this book have taught me some things, and I'm just on chapter 4. I have to, like when I read
50 speeches I gave to myself to keep from going crazy. Help. I love it.
Listen, and I wish I had your book. I would definitely be doing this. Yeah. But, and I hate to do this in the midst of yours, but I wanted to bring this and just show you what I have been doing to prepare myself like
self-work.
this. Yeah.
Yep,
And I was like, man, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't, when I look back at myself, like even 2 or 3 years ago, like, I'm so different.
Yes.
I am so different.
Yes.
And I love myself, the change that I'm going. And that's what we women have to.
Yeah.
If we want that better, we want that future husband to love who we are, we have to love ourselves first.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So what does Belinda have in the future? Because I know you have so much stuff going on right now that is running you wild.
In a great way.
In a great way.
2022 is like set up to be absolutely amazing. I mean, some of the things, unfortunately, I can't share. So
Belinda, you can't drop it on the be the first. The morning jam can be the first where you drop it.
Okay, well, here's the deal. When I sign the contracts, I will come in and give you an exclusive. How about
Okay,
that?
awesome. I look forward to it.
Absolutely, but it's really big, and we're really excited about it. We actually have our first meeting, with the rest of the cast members tomorrow, so we're super excited about all of that. That's rolling.
You kind of gave us a little bit when you say cast members.
I didn't say what.
Okay.
I didn't say what.
Oh well, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations, sis. I'm so proud of you.
But I'm really excited too about some of the projects I have going on in terms of my investment company. I also do, real estate development and investment.
Yes.
So we're actually going back into the community where I grew up, and we're, revamping communities and naming parks after my family and my children.
Nice. I love that.
So I was really excited about that. Some old classmates came to me and said, hey, this is what we're doing. We want to put your name on it. And since I was already developing the area anyway, I was super excited to be a part of it, especially since I grew up there. So, giving back to me is just a part of life for me. So this is another opportunity I have to get back. So
That's awesome. Awesome. Congratulations on that. I'm so proud of my sisters that are out here doing it big, being boss queens and just doing it. And one thing, and we're doing it while we're tired. We're doing it while we're holding that family down. We're doing it while we're holding that husband down. We're doing it all. And I just love that. And you're out here doing it all. Yeah. So I love that.
But I make plenty of time for me, girl.
That's what we have to do.
Make plenty of time to get my rest and to enjoy my life.
Absolutely.
And to shop and sit down and break bread. Because,
right.
Like, listen, I'm the first domino for me, and my children. So I have to make sure that I'm taken care of as well. So I used to do that, but I take breaks now.
That's great. That's great. I love it. So what's next for you besides what you can't share?
The project I can't share. What's next for me is, like I said, my manifestations course. I'm super, super excited about that. I have a lot of, collaborations coming up, and also I do a lot of influencer work now. I decided to take that on for 2022, so I do have a lot of that coming up. You guys will see me with pillows, lipsticks,
awesome,
boots. So I do have a lot of collaborations coming up that I'm super excited about, and I'm really happy about my little baby CEOs, my daughters, Bella and Miracle. They have their hair line, of course, Bella Miracle Hair Oil.
I've seen that, yes.
So they're expanding their brand too. So,
awesome.
Yes, I'm their spokesmommy.
I love that.
I'm their mouthpiece. Yes. So I'm excited about what they're doing, and their goal is to get in Target this year. So
that's great. That's great. Congratulations on that. Congratulations, babies, because I know that you're so proud and of your children, and even just watching them grow and just seeing what God has for them. Yeah, and watching them walk in that too, that path. But I'm not going to hold you too long because I know you've been working it all day, sis.
Girl, since 5 a.m. But you know what? It's one thing about talking to someone you actually enjoy talking about. It's like the time just goes. You don't even notice.
Right.
So we're literally having fun.
Yes. Yes, we are. I love it. I love it. So I definitely appreciate you being with me. We're definitely going to connect on so many levels right here, you guys, with your sis and your friend Crystal on the Morning Jam podcast. Listen, let them know where they can reach you, get your book, connect with you, and even with your manifestation that's going on, all of it. So let them know.
Yeah, please join me. Follow me on Instagram. I'm at MRSB, last name NDU. So please follow me there, MRSB NDU. That's my Instagram handle. And then you can click the link in my bio. There you'll find more about my companies, some of the businesses that I do. You can also purchase my Dear Future Husband book as well, right there on the link in my bio on Instagram. So I look forward to following you. If you're here and watching this, please feel free to contact me on Instagram. Let me know what you think about the book. And I can't wait to get your feedback. So, Crystal,
Awesome.
It was a pleasure. Seriously.
Oh my gosh, it's been a pleasure. You dropped like I said, so many nuggets. I'm excited to even go back and watch this again. And so I'm excited. So you guys right here with your sis and your friend Crystal right here on the Morning Jam podcast. You guys, we are out of here because we've done it up right here with my sis, Belinda.
Yes, thank you.
Guys. Bye. If you enjoyed this podcast, tune in each week on thinkingoutloudnetwork.com. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share with your friends and family. Until next time, peace.